Anime recapped here. Today I will recap a romance anime movie called Your Name. Be ready for some spoilers ahead, watch and take care. The anime is about a boy and a girl who switch bodies in their sleep. The movie starts with a girl and a boy talking about their inner feelings, how they feel that they are missing something. We see a girl Mitsuha waking up from her sleep. She feels strange and confused after looking at the room and her body. After that, she starts touching her boobies. A confused little girl walks in and asks her, "Sis, what are you doing?" And the girl is surprised that the little girl called her sis. The girl tells her that it's time for breakfast. She gets undressed and is shocked after seeing her body. It's a new day. Mitsuha comes to have breakfast. Her grandma notices that she's back to normal. But, Mitsuha doesn't seem like she remembers what happened yesterday. The news about a comet is shown on TV. After breakfast, Mitsuha and her sister heads out to go to school. On the way to school, Mitsuha meets her friends. They tell her that she was being weird yesterday. Mitsuha is again confused. Then, they start talking and go to school. On the way, Mitsuha's father embarrasses her in front of everyone. During class, Mitsuha is seen confused about some writings in her notebook. After class, her friends tell her what she did yesterday. She is shocked after hearing them, but doesn't remember anything. Mitsuha and her sister are seen doing a shrine dance. Mitsuha's friends come to see her. Later they do a kind of ritual where they make mouth-chewed sake. After the ritual, she and her sister were going back. During that time, Mitsuha comes down of the shrine and screams that she hates this town and life. She wants to become a Tokyo boy in her next life. A boy is shown waking up from his sleep. He is confused about the room he's in. He suddenly freaks out about having a penis. He sees himself in the mirror and is shocked after seeing his face. A man calls him by the name Taki and seems to be his father. Later he confusingly gets ready and comes out to go to school. He realizes that he is in Tokyo. He becomes happy. At school, his friends find him acting differently. His friends remind him to go to work. After he goes to work he struggles. 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗲, a waitress, helps him with an annoying customer and the customer secretly cuts her skirt. Later Taki sews her skirt and they start to get along very well. After Taki goes back home, he writes what he did today on his phone and goes to sleep. Taki wakes up and discovers the name Mitsuha written on his hand. He is confused about the things on his phone. At school, his friend tells him that he was acting weird yesterday. At work, everyone is mad at him because he and 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗲 are going along very well. As days go by, Taki and Mitsuha realize that they have been switching bodies in their sleep. So, they start writing to each other, telling each other what to do and not to do when they swap bodies. They seem to be annoyed at each other for doing things that they don't like when they swap. A new day. Taki wakes up in Mitsuha's body. Her grandmother, sister, and she are going to the mountaintop. Her grandmother tells him many things about their history and tradition. After they reach the top, they stores their mouth-chew sake, also known as kuchikami sake, in a cave. Afterwards, the beautiful view of a sunset is shown. Grandma tells Mitsuha that she was dreaming again. A crying Taki wakes up from his sleep. He discovers that he has a date with 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗲, set up by Mitsuha. Taki rushes to the date. Mitsuha back in her body was doing her hair. She's thinking about Taki's date and suddenly realizes that she's crying. Taki feels really awkward during the date and he feels like he doesn't know what to say to 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗲. He looks at his phone for Mitsuha's instruction. Taki asks 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗲 to have dinner, but she declines. She tells him that she knows he had a crush on her. But, maybe, he loves someone else now. He blushes and awkwardly says, no. Their date ends here. Later, Taki tries to give Mitsuha a phone call. Taki's call didn't reach Mitsuha's phone. He thinks that he will just have to tell her how lousy the date was when they switch their bodies again. But, for some reason, it doesn't happen again. Taki starts to sketch some places of Mitsuha's village, trying to remember the places he was at when he swapped bodies with her. Days go by and he doesn't stop drawing and thinking. One day he takes the sketches and goes to find the place. 𝗟𝗶𝗸𝗲 and Tsukasa tag along with him. They go to many places and ask many people about the place. Finally, while eating, the stall owner recognizes the sketch as 𝗍𝗏𝗧. They go to the place and see that the village doesn't exist there anymore, it's like a ruin. He doesn't want to believe it. He tells everyone that he remembers everything. He looks at his phone and suddenly all of Mitsuha's notes vanish from his phone one by one. Taki finally finds out the place was destroyed by a comet 3 years ago. They go to the local library for research. He finds a book with all the names of people who died that day. Mitsuha's name was in the book, along with her friends, sister, and grandmother. He finally realizes that in his sleep he goes back in time and wakes up in Mitsuha's body. A sleeping Taki wakes up suddenly by the voice of Mitsuha saying, "Taki, don't you remember?" Taki goes to the place again with the help of an old man who admired his sketch of 𝗍𝗏𝗧. It starts raining. Finally, he reaches the cave, where Mitsuha stored her kuchikami sake. Hoping to get one more chance, he drinks it. After he sees many weird things in his dreams, he finally goes back in time and wakes up in Mitsuha's body again. She starts crying and fondling her breasts. This day was the day when 𝗍𝗏𝗧 gets destroyed by the comet. Taki in Mitsuha's body is determined to save her and everyone from the comet. He goes to the school and tells Saya and Teshi. They start planning on how to evacuate the people of 𝗍𝗏𝗧 before the comet comes. Taki tries to convince Mitsuha's father, but to no avail. Disappointed, later he thinks, whether Mitsuha is in the cave where he drank the sake. So, he goes there. A confused Mitsuha wakes up and Taki's body goes outside and sees the ruins of 𝗍𝗏𝗧. She remembers the comet destroying 𝗍𝗏𝗧 and also killing her. In a flashback, Mitsuha goes to Tokyo. After roaming around, she enters a train, where she finds Taki. But, he doesn't seem to remember her, even though she calls him by his name and tells him that she's Mitsuha. When the train reaches a station and people are getting off, Mitsuha unties her ribbon and gives it to Taki. Taki remembers that 3-year-old Mitsuha went to Tokyo to find him. But, he didn't know her back then. Taki in Mitsuha's body goes to the top of the mountain and calls for Mitsuha loudly. Mitsuha in Taki's body also calls him back. Suddenly, they are in front of each other, in their own bodies, looking at each other for the first time. Taki gives her ribbon back to her. After the sun sets, Mitsuha disappears. And, Taki seems like he's forgetting why he was there. Mitsuha, now in her own body having the knowledge of the future, along with her friends tries to evacuate the people of 𝗍𝗏𝗧. But, along the way, she starts to forget everything about Taki and their body switch incident. 5 years later, Taki is shown to have graduated. He is struggling to get a job whereas his friends have many job offers. He has forgotten everything about Mitsuha and their body switch phenomenon. Unknowingly he is drawn to the comet incident. It is shown that a fragment of the comet destroyed a town, but, miraculously no one died. Taki is always searching for something or someone. Mitsuha, Saya, and Teshi also live in Tokyo. Taki and Mitsuha pass by each other but don't seem to remember each other. One day, when both of their trains crosses each other, they feel like they remembered something. They get off their trains. They search for each other. Finally, in a staircase, they see each other. Mitsuha is getting down and Taki is going up. Finally, Taki builds up the courage and asks her if they knew each other. Then, Mitsuha replies, she was thinking the same. At last, they ask each other their name. And, the movie ends here. Thank you for watching and subscribe for more upcoming videos.